Hey everyone, Dylan here, and in today's video I'm going to be doing kind of like, I have a bunch of story videos and this will be no exception. This is kind of my getting in trouble story kind of like video, like it's just like a bunch of stories in one of me getting in trouble in like school. And like I have like three particular stories, and one of them just gets me fired up because I didn't even do anything wrong. But so we'll start with probably the youngest one as far as I can remember, and that's when I was a bad kid on the bus, and like just a mean bad kid. I cussed a lot. I cussed on the bus, and I was bad probably up until once I hit 5th grade. I started to be good, but before that, I was pretty bad. But I was on the bus home, and I had kept being bad, and I had a bus driver. His name was Chuck, and he probably in his like 30s, probably early mid 30s, and he was kind of like the type, he wore like a hat. He was like more country, right? And like seemed like he'd be into fishing and hunting and all that. And he was actually a cool bus driver, but I was a bad kid, and a lot of times he would make me actually sit behind his seat, like in between the front seat and in between his seat when I was really bad. But eventually I just kept cussing, and I got kicked off the bus for a year. And what that meant was I had to ride the tram, and I also had to just get picked up by random strangers. It's kind of weird, actually, now that I think about it. But I was kicked. I was so bad, I could not be on the bus for an entire year, the rest of the year. And it really sucked. I remember riding the tram, and I got picked up, and this other girl, she ended up picking up this kid who didn't have any legs. I think he either had no legs or he had one leg, and so that was it. Me, him, and the girl who drove. It was very weird. And I don't know, it's so weird. Like I had to do that for like an entire year, and after that I wasn't bad anymore. I was like, I really don't want to go back to that awkwardness and weirdness. So that's kind of one short little story there. Now the next one is when I was about in like 4th grade, I believe, and I was about like probably 9, and me and my friend, it was during lunch, it was kind of after lunch, and we volunteered to clean tables. So you have a bucket of water with soap in it, and you can have a rag, and we were wiping tables. And all right, we're 9-year-old boys, and so from across the table we mess with each other a little bit and whip at each other with the wet rags. And I kid you not, this female teacher comes over and screamed at us, like is just yelling at us, like. And so much so that she made us sit, like she brought us to a room and said that we had to sit for all of recess. We didn't get recess that day. And I went off kind of and stood my ground as a 9-year-old, because I felt like it was wrong, right? Because it's like, okay, we were just messing around a little bit, and it's not like she told us once, right? It's not like she warned us once, like, hey, stop doing that. Like we had no warning. She immediately just yelled at us, like no warning, no nothing. And so I was just kind of like, I felt like we didn't do anything wrong. I said, it's not like we shouldn't miss out on recess. My friend just sitting there like quiet, kind of like thinking like, what are you doing? And I'm talking back to this like teacher she really just helps the kids in need kind of teacher. So she's like, that's kind of what she does. She's like one of 3 that does it, and she's kind of the mean one out of them. But yeah, I like was like, no, this ain't right. And because I talked back to her and I said, I'm not sitting here for, that. I didn't really feel like I did anything that wrong. And so she's like, fine, then go to the office. And I was so confident and brazen. I was like, fine. I was like, I'll go to the office. I don't care. Because I felt like I was in the right, so I was like, gonna make my case. And so I led the way to the office. I was walking in front of her because I was so cocky and emboldened. And so we go, and I had to talk to the vice principal, who is the one who typically deals with a lot of trouble and stuff. I mean, sometimes the principal did too, but mostly it was the vice principal. And she was cool. But the thing is, I kind of came in and told her why I was there, and kind of explained my case that we weren't really doing anything that bad. We were just messing around a little bit while we were wiping down tables. Not a big deal. And it's not like we were slapping each other at full force or doing anything crazy. We're just a little bit, right? So I explained my case. I'm very confident, and she kind of, I don't remember exactly, but she tells me kind of that why the other teacher was like, oh, well, you could have gotten hurt, or, there's like the gross stuff on the rags that, I don't know what that has to do with anything. Like, there being gross stuff on the rags. I don't know what that has to do with anything at all. But like the thing about getting hurt, I'm like, how are we going to get hurt? They're just wet rags. Like, I didn't understand how we were going to get hurt. So it's just weird, but she just tried to like explain it to me. I didn't end up, it didn't go my way, but it also didn't go against me either. I still had to sit out the rest of recess, but I didn't get in any other trouble, right? For like defying a teacher, fighting back with a teacher. I didn't get more in trouble, right? For fighting against the power. So it kind of worked out neutral, I guess, and so that's kind of where that story ends. There's one more story, and this one kind of infuriates me. It was in, I believe, 8th grade, and I didn't really get in any trouble in high school, or like even in middle school. For the most part, I didn't get in trouble. So I was standing in the lunch line with my tray, and my friend was in front of me, and there's like 2 different lines you can go in for whatever reason, and we were just in one of the lines, and behind us was this kid, and he was big and kind of a bullyish type kid, and he was like behind us, and what he ended up doing was we were just kind of like standing there talking, and then like he like basically just like bulldozes like us. Like he just like rams into us and pushes both of us forward. And then in that school, a higher up teacher, I don't remember what he was. Honestly, I don't remember what he was, but he started like yelling at all 3 of us, and we didn't even get a chance to explain ourselves. So he made us, for the next 2 lunches, sit in detention for lunch. And that one, oh my god, that one fires me up. That one pisses me off to think about, because me and my friend were just standing there, minding our own business in the lunch line, not doing anything. And because we get shoved by this other kid, we all get yelled at and get in trouble when we didn't even do anything. And so we had to spend the next 2 freaking lunches, like, because there's like, in the lunchroom there's a stage, and then there's stairs to the stage, and like there's a table up there that you could sit on in the back, and or like a little bit over to where people can't see you. But it's really stupid. It's like, honestly, it just fires me up because I didn't do anything wrong, and one of the very few times I quote unquote got in trouble in middle school. So bullshit. But yeah, that's kind of like a couple of my, being bad stories. And getting in trouble and all that. So if you guys have any stories about you getting in trouble in school, and I'd really like to read them in the comments. So comment those down below if you have any. So yeah, but yeah, that's been it for me. Like the video if you liked it, and subscribe and all that. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for listening. I will see you in the next video.